Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome back to Fallout 76 for our weekly visit to the Purveyor, where today we're going to spend 1,000 scrip on a combination of ranged weapons and melee weapons, because I'm on my unarmed character, so I want at least a few shots at a decent melee weapon. Remember, if you like videos like this and you want to see more, do go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, but that's enough of that. Let's jump right in and see what Mama Mumbles has for us today. Alright, and our first roll of the day is a Mutant's Fat Man with VATS critical shots doing more damage and 90% reduced weight. So I've said before and I'll say again, I do think that the best effect you can get on a Fat Man is 90% reduced weight. With these weapons, it's really tough to build around them and use them all the time. As anyone who watched my little short video on Tuesday can witness from my own experience. You die a lot. There are awkward situations with them. They really only work outdoors where you've got a little bit of space between you and your enemy. And so as such, having one that has 90% reduced weight makes it really easy to carry around with you, but also really easy to just put away and switch to something else under appropriate circumstances. So I love that effect on the Fat Man. Mutants is not the most desirable effect. It's only a 10% damage increase, but at the same time, it's still 10%. It's not nothing, and when you've got base damage as high as a Fat Man, that's fairly significant. VATS critical shots doing more damage. I guess that's good, but in my experience, VATS on these weapons is very strange. Sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't, so probably not my favorite effect there, but I suppose you could do worse. Other than that, that's really all I've got to say about this one. Let's see what's next. And we'll do a melee weapon, and we've got a Suppressor's Machete with double blocking perks. Oh, good. So the Suppressor's effect, not one I'm a big fan of in Fallout 76, not because it doesn't work, but because there just aren't that many scenarios where suppressing your enemy's damage for a few seconds is all that beneficial. Maybe in the new daily ops, where you have this armor-piercing mutation that the enemies have, maybe that's a little more helpful there, but I still don't think I'd take suppressing enemy damage over doing more damage myself. I'd much rather just eliminate those enemies quickly than take longer and reduce their damage. It seems like a no question trade-off there. As for blocking perks, nobody blocks in this game. I know, somebody's going to say they do, but I don't buy it. Nobody does. Okay, next up, we've got the Suppressor's effect again. This time on a hunting rifle with 25% faster fire rate and 25% less VATS AP cost. So I don't love the Suppressor's effect, as we discussed, for all the same reasons, so we won't beat that horse to death. 25% fire rate could be interesting here. I've never actually tested how it works on the hunting rifle. If it speeds up the charging animation between shots, then that could make a fairly significant difference here. So maybe that's something worth testing out at some point. If it doesn't, then it's probably insignificant, but testing will tell. 25% less VATS AP cost, that's definitely good. Chances are if you're a rifleman build and you're using VATS, you've got a VATS critical build, and getting more shots in VATS is going to be great for you. So those second and third stars could potentially be really good, but the Suppressor's effect, not in love with that. Let's move along. And it's time for another melee weapon, and we have another dud. Hunter's Chinese Officer Sword with damage to animals, 40% more power attack damage, and of course less damage while blocking. So damage to animals, highly situational, good against things like Yao Guai and wolves and even Scorch Beasts, but realistically, is this the weapon you're taking to hunt those kinds of creatures? Probably not. 40% more power attack damage definitely helps, but without a strong primary effect, I just don't see anybody really using this. And once again, another blocking effect. Nobody's gonna get a whole lot of mileage out of that. Maybe that one person in the comments will. I have no doubt. But yeah, for the most part, nobody's blocking, so that's useless. Let's move along. And we'll head back to a ranged weapon here. What do we get for our next roll? Oh, so disappointing. So here is a great example of a potentially very good weapon, absolutely ruined by a terrible primary effect. The Berserker's effect gives you more damage if you basically have no armor, but it does negative damage. It takes away your damage if you do have armor. So who's going to use that? Who's going to use a heavy gun without armor? They're big, they're loud, they make you a big old target. Everybody's going to need armor with a weapon like this, especially with the explosive effect. You need a dense mod on your chest piece, or power armor, or I guess you can use fireproof, but either way, there's just the likelihood that you're going to do this as a Berserker is very, very small. So yeah, that is a real lost opportunity here because explosive is awesome on heavy guns, especially on the LMG with its super fast fire rate. Extra agility, I guess, doesn't hurt, but yeah, this one destined for the Scrip bin simply based on that primary effect. It makes it totally useless. And yeah, that's it. Let's hit another melee weapon. And now we've got a Vampire's Bone Hammer with limb damage and 15% less damage while blocking. Mama Mumbles, you're liking these blocking effects today. And not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all. And I can already see the comments telling me to hop servers in between. I promise you, I've tested all of these things. It is random. It doesn't feel random all the time, but it is random. Vampire's effect on a weapon like this, it's better than having nothing, but on a slower swing speed weapon, you're not really making the most out of that. Extra limb damage, I found that's not great on melee weapons, especially a weapon like this where you really want to kill your target in just a couple of hits, so you're not going to get a lot of mileage out of that. And once again, blocking effect, who cares? Less damage while blocking. You got to block to make that happen, and nobody's doing it. Moving on. And wow. Oh, Mama Mumbles. What did old Man McRib do to you this time? This is not good. We've got Berserkers again on a weapon it doesn't belong on. Once again, who's using an explosive weapon without armor? You're not doing it. You're just not. That's critical shots doing more damage. I guess that could be good if you're going to use this in VATS. Faster reload on a Broadsider. If you're going to use a Broadsider, that's a good perk to have because you have to reload it every shot. So that's not a bad one to get. Unfortunately, Berserkers, once again, is going to wreck this weapon. So this is a perfect example of what I think Bethesda needs to do. Before they start adding things, before they start changing things, the first thing to do is just go through each weapon and see what effects can drop on it and take off the things that don't make sense. Berserkers on an explosive weapon makes absolutely no sense. It guarantees that this is going into the Scrip bin. So what's the point of dropping it? Getting any legendary drop should feel good. It should feel like a good thing, even if it's just a little bit of a good thing. This is just garbage. No one's going to use it. It's 16 pounds of trash. We're going to throw it in the Scrip bin, but before we get there, we're going to try another melee weapon. And we've got a Tenderizer. Okay, well, the Tenderizer is very, very cool. It looks awesome. It's a unique weapon. It's a rare plan to have, so getting any Tenderizer is pretty good. Unfortunately, this one isn't amazing. Extra damage to Scorched. It's better than nothing, I suppose. Maybe if you want to use something like this during the new daily ops that feature Scorched, then maybe that works for you. But here again, we've got double blocking perks. Now, those two perks synergize well together. You know, if you are that one person in a million that actually blocks, then I guess this could be useful for you. But if you're anybody else, it's not. It's just not good. They weigh too much. If you want to keep it in your stash, they're really heavy. So, unfortunately, probably destined for the Scrip bin. Let's keep rolling. And we've got another Berserker's heavy weapon. Man, I'm telling you, the people who think you got a server hop are going to have a field day on this one. They are. I see it now. I can smell it from a mile away. Oh my. So yeah, what else is there to say here? Berserkers on heavy guns makes no sense. You're wearing armor with a heavy gun. You need power armor to get the best perk on heavy guns. So yeah, you're not going to use this. You're just not. VATS perks on a heavy gun, again, useless. Nobody's building around VATS on heavy guns. Faster reload, well, that doesn't hurt. Unfortunately, the rest of it's useless. So yeah, 18 pounds of Scrip. That's what we got for this one. I'd love to talk a little more about it or find a kind of a niche use case for it, but I just don't really see one, so let's move on. All right, one last melee roll. Come on now, Mama Mumbles. What do you got? And look at that. Look at that. Our patience paid off. Bloodied switchblade with faster swing speed and +1 strength. So you want damage? Bloodied is the way to get it. Switchblade, maybe not the best weapon to get, but it is really fast, especially with swing speed and martial artist running. This thing moves quick. Extra strength is just a flat damage buff. It's not huge, but it's better than nothing. You put the serrated mod on this, it's going to boost up the damage, and it gives you a little bit of bleed damage. So that's nice for when you get your targets down to just a shred of health. You can just move on to the next target and just let them bleed to death. It does work. It's not huge. You've got to get really close, but it definitely works. So really like that. This one's going to be fun to play with. Is it going to be the most OP, insane weapon you've ever seen? No. But especially with the new fixes they made to the melee hitbox, I think it's going to be a lot more useful than it used to be. You know, even if it takes 3 shots, when you've got fast swing speed, that's not bad. But when you had to land 9 to get 3 good ones, that was a problem. Now we don't really have that issue. So there we go. You know, we had a whole long list of duds and then one really good drop at the end. That's how it goes. You know, ultimately I'm trading in garbage to get chances at better stuff. So if all I did was trade in trash and I got 1 out of 10 good rolls, well, I guess that pays off, doesn't it? So yeah, ultimately not bad. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna wrap it up for us today. We had another eventful trip to Mama Mumbles. Lots of garbage, one great thing. As always, if you enjoyed videos like this and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, follow me on Twitter. There's always new stuff on the channel. We're doing live streams, we're doing all kinds of stuff. So I do hope I see you next time. Until then, I'm Fisty McRib.